Hey everybody, it's another game of the night on EA Sports. Roy Cruz and Son of Beast here. This is another matchup as we have finished things off for the last part of the game, the Kings and the Sharks. But now we go back to the East Coast and see what gets things down right toward the board. The next matchup for our game of the night, we have the Dallas Stars from Texas, and they are facing at the Sunshine State of Florida in Sunrise, Florida Panthers. They are one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, winning the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions from 2024 to 2025 against the Edmonton Oilers. These teams were not really that special to beat anybody right between for the Stars if they wanted to win over the Oilers. But for the good news, Florida Panthers has beaten against the Carolina Hurricanes, and for the last, they beat against the New York Rangers since 2024. But how will this happen with conjuration between those two? You're about to find out what takes on. For the next goaltenders for the starting matchup, we have Jake Oettinger, and he's also along with the other ones too as well. And for the Florida Panthers is Sergei Bobrovsky. I'll get to that one in a few, but now let's have a look at the X Factor players, starting with Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars has Mikko Rantanen with the quick release and one team with the tape-to-tape zone. Miro Heiskanen, the wheels with the early edges and the send-it pass. Jason Robertson, quick release and pressure with the no contest ability. Jake Oettinger with the sponge and makes the absorption limited rebounds. Matt Duchene with the wheels and big tipper. Thomas Harley with only early edges and a send-it pass. Then it's Wyatt Johnston, big tipper and no contest ability. And across is Roope Hintz, early edges, the tape-to-tape with the quick draw winning face-off. Then it's Esa Lindell with the stick-em-up and quick pick. Then we have Jamie Benn, the captain for the Dallas Stars, True Lanceless, an unstoppable force. And finally we have Tyler Seguin, quick release and one team motion. Now let's see what's going on with the Florida Panthers as we send you the other way. Starting with Alexander Barkov. He's one of the better to take things on his own, the captain for the Florida Panthers. Backhand beauty, ankle breaking, and quick picks. Then Matthew Tkachuk with the big tipper. He has nothing to do with the big tipper with the born leader and the spark plug. Sam Reinhart has also the same thing too, with tape-to-tape and the no contest zones. Brad Marchand from the Boston Bruins, he makes a quick pick and no contest ability. Then starting goaltender is Sergei Bobrovsky. He shows a showstopper, reflecting his save of his night. Then Gustav Forsling, the wheels, rocket, and send-it pass. Then it's Aaron Ekblad with the rocket and tape-to-tape zones. Then it's Seth Jones from the Chicago Blackhawks, second wind, rocket, and send-it pass. And then it's Carter Verhaeghe with only the early edges and pressure. Then we have Sam Bennett, the spark plug and the warrior. And finally, it's Eytan Lundell. That's where it takes on with the quick pick and tape-to-tape. That's it for now with the starting lineups. Now sending my broadcast studio here at Sunrise, Florida, the ones that we return. We have his paintbrush, and he's also along with James Cebulski. And returning at center ice is Palm Tree. It's time to find out what takes for the next matchup. Stars, Cats, next on EA Sports. See you later for the post-game show after the intermission between 1 and 2. It's all determined to be nothing but better than the Cat here at Sunrise, Florida. Game is about to be started. Good evening, everyone. I am Paintbrush, and I'm here on my broadcast partner along with James Cebulski, and Palm Tree is your starting center for tonight's game. Tonight's starting goaltender, we have is Jake Ottinger. And the other side for the Florida Cats, we have is Sergei Bobrovsky. Forsling will start things up. He will not find over to Sam Reinhart. Reinhart starts it over there to Forsling. You'll find again to Matthew Tkachuk. Tkachuk goes right toward the boards. It's rebounded up by Forsling. Forsling looks over to Reinhart. Give that pass to Lindell. As now this will be Aaron Ekblad. He'll start things up here on ice. To give the pass off to Forsling. The shoots wire. The big stopper made by Ottinger. Tkachuk. Battle on the boards, and it's rebounded up by Aiden Lindell. Lindell now fights it over to Aaron Ekblad. He looks over to Reinhart. Here's Ekblad. Passes over to Lindell. It's no contest by Wyatt Johnston. He'll now find it over to Issa Lindell. Dallas are back in the offensive zone. They'll start the fourth possession here. And an amazing save by Sergei Bobrovsky. What a huge stop in the own end. And it'll be his first save of the night. Starting it off that big between no score to games, Stars and the Cats are not the better team to be here as they're looking for some predictions to be the Stanley Cup finalists for 2025. But it wasn't easy enough. Because of this, they really got been trying to keep things out. And that's because of Connor McDavid. He made that one all with the worst. There's no better than competitions afterward. And when I was been spotting this one on for the Edmonton Oilers, they were really sure that this was not the easy way to make them playable. I know what happens, it just hurts. Most of our agreement, and they're not really playing it optimally, they don't really play it that really good. There are a lot of opportunity for the Stars. They just always keep messing because the Canadian teams are always the higher range, and that's the odd ones to beat here in the Western Conference standings. That one wasn't easy enough. The second versus the first seed, it was pretty obviously a not safe spot to be into the final two. Samoskevich now finding it over to Mikkola. Here's Marchand with the shots blocked and rebounded up by Elvis Belinsky. Belinsky now finds it again to Rodriguez. Rodriguez finding it again to Belinskas. Belinskas showing a shot. Huge save by Jake Ottinger and rebounded by the Cats. Florida keeps in zone now finding to Rodriguez. Here's another one to Belinskas. Another to Rodriguez. Florida Cats moving around. In the middle, Marchand. Shots blocked by Issa Lindell. And now Duchesne with the puck. Keeps it all the way around the zone for the Cats. Now as Mikkola will try to start things here for the Cats. As now here's AJ Greer. Panthers are back in the Stars territory. Greer slides back. They're rebounded again by Beaufort. Hornford and Petrie. That pass has been taken away by Jamie Benn. Stick lifted, and that one poked it up, and now Petrie will have it to Bourneford. Here's another one to Petrie as the Florida Cats make its way down. Big hit here in the center ice as Rodriguez with the puck. You see that's where it definitely gets difficult. That's when it doesn't really start off well, but you're never going to like this afterwards. That really hit's going to make that hurt. Big save by Jake Ottinger. And now he says over again for the Stars, over to Jamie Benn. 13:30 remaining in the first period as he passed the 15-minute mark in the first period. Petrie will start it again. Now here's Rodriguez. Rodriguez again, now to Tkachuk. Tkachuk shot, glove save by Ottinger. 13:06 remaining in the first period as they'll be able to have their next puck drop. Well, you can just see what happens with Jamie Benn, and this one is really where the relentless makes a kid. That's where he goes in with the big bomb threat. That one really hurts, and it doesn't really start off. When it happens with the Dallas Stars, you don't get that often clear. Florida Cats wins the faceoff as Schmidt with the winning faceoff for his first win. Luosterainen has now to Kunin. Kunin pass back over to Luosterainen. Here's for the shots, huge save by Ottinger. 12:38 remaining, first period. As Cats and the Stars will take another quick puck drop break. Still a lot of time left in the period as we're nearing the midway mark. No score to game. And the win will be on Duchesne. Rupins with the first win of the puck drop. And here's Jason Robertson to Hintz. Ford with the shot. Huge shot by Bobrovsky. Another big save by Bobrovsky. And that one goes right toward the net, and now it's Aaron Ekblad. What a big save into this comeback range. And I love seeing things about Sergei Bobrovsky. That is where the first one and really makes a great start. Wheels behind the back. Now finds it over to Schmidt again to Ekblad. Ekblad now finds it again to Schmidt. Schmidt looks back to Aaron Ekblad. Ekblad Cut motion, backhander shot. That one is blocked up in front. And then Stam Steele takes it over. He'll swing it out. And behind the net, new line group here as Forson's team will now make a new change out here to Aaron Ekblad. And now out back on ice is Carter Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe doesn't get enough by, and it's now Oscar Bach. Poked it by Aaron Ekblad. And Morgford. He's over now to Verhaeghe. Oh, smackdown with the hit in the center ice. Here comes Sam Bennett. Big stop there by Ottinger. And Sam Bennett will now have it to Verhaeghe. What a huge save in his own end. That was never going to be afterward, and that really was a huge to take that effort. That one just stayed out of it for a trouble set. Forefront now flying to Aaron Ekblad. And now flying over to Marchand. On a stop, making save by play by Ottinger. And now it's Verhaeghe. Marchand tries to do for another different job. Back to Hornford. Hornford moves around. Big stop by Ottinger. And holds it right near the goal line. Just past the midway mark in the first period. Now sitting in by in center ice, I now have it as Palmtree. The start off for the Stars, it's Jake Ottinger. Thanks, fellas. About Jake Ottinger, he was really like keeping the sponge afterward. I got to see a lot of saves afterwards. But talking about from the head coaches when you really are spelling this on, and this is where I really start things for the sponge. That energy is making it in for Jake Ottinger, but that's a big one for the head coach to try to prove it all. Players has been one of the domination effort, and they really are spotting that one on. I'm looking forward to seeing things here for Jake Ottinger. He has a huge save. That's where he wants to start coming in by, and doesn't make it that one huge further to have that cut. That's where it's going to start for the Stars with the hugest save. Looking forward to the next saving rebounds for the Stars, guys. Thanks, Palmtree. Now find Matthew Tkachuk. And he went down. It's now over to Duchesne. 2-on-1 opportunity. Move around the back. And Petrie with a denying effort to disrupt the play. And now it's the Stars taking over. Rodriguez goes down. Holford now flying again to Greer. A.J. Greer on the back on Rantanen. Has that back to Rodriguez. He looks over to Mikkola. Mikkola now finds Balinskis. He now finds Rodriguez. Again to Balinskis. That one doesn't get through. Duchesne takes it over. Dallas Stars the other way. As now here's Hintz. Hintz moves it in. Shot stopped by Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky's going to save the day, and he'll hold things off with just only 6:38 to go. Back to Palmtree. This time is Sergei Bobrovsky. Thank you, fellas. That's now for Sergei Bobrovsky. We'll be talking this about a hugest on making saving rebounds. That Bobrovsky is one of the hugest saves in this game. Doesn't really stick things off, but that's where you would really be doing it for. One of his big stars afterwards has been making the master out of it to make a hugest big cat of the king. Awareness of the leader, making everything sure enough to have this hugest stop saves ever again. When you're spotting on for Sergei Bobrovsky, that's where he wanted to make that one with the hugest big inbound. I'm pretty sure he's one of the best stick here, guys, but let's see if he can help it stay alive for his energy, for his impact. Back to you, Big Chris. Here's Slisharainen. A stop to disrupted play, and as he takes over, Oscar Bach takes it down. Huge kick around behind the net. You see, that's a big one of the taking and his new smackdown. That's where the clash comes by. Doesn't really think that was going to be good. Maybe. Brady shoots. That one is off of Foska. And now it's over again to Robertson. Dallas on the attack. Huge blocker save by Sergei Bobrovsky. Carter Verhaeghe right around the back. Will now find it over to Kunin. Kunin has now flipped it over to Mikkola. Mikkola now sends it over to Balinskis. Florida regaining the grip here on offensive zone. Balinskis will now have it to Mikkola. What's on Marchand shot? Off his teammate. Balinskis back again to Mikkola. Here's Verhaeghe. He shoots one. Another big save. Trying to get a rebound by Bennett, and it's now back to Thomas Harley. Jason Robertson takes that one out with only 3:30 remaining under the first period. Marchand gets it over. Here's another one to Mikkola. Mikkola now finds it over to Marchand. Marchand to Verhaeghe. Here's Verhaeghe. Help from Marchand. Big rebound. And it goes right to Marchand. Here's now to Forsling. A send off to Aaron Ekblad. Forsling. Marchand shoots. Blocked up. Lundqvist takes it over. That one dips his own, and that one goes right behind the back. Aaron Ekblad with the regaining grip, and now he will have it over. A send-off to Rodriguez with 2:12 remaining. Rodriguez right down. Backhander, but stopped by Ottinger. Long wrist to Blackwell. And he's now to Fosca. Fosca, double man down, as Forsling takes now over to Greer. Greer almost went to the bench. Florida Cats are not really liking the play calls. That would almost be a penalty. Yeah, that was almost going to be roughness. Whenever you don't make that carry afterward, that is where that makes a mess. Don't carry it out if you're going to do it. Final minute in the first period as Johnson now finds Blackwell in the shot.
Last speed to play in the first
and
period.
now Aaron Ekblad takes it out. Under a minute remaining in the first period. Cats try to look for a deep zone. Rodriguez on a shot. Backhander has been denied. Rebound by Matthew Tkachuk. Here's an out with Aaron Ekblad. Tkachuk. Puck gets right behind, and it's now rebounded up by the Cats. Aaron Ekblad will now reset things off. The other way. Time running down. And the other way is Johnston. With the shot blocker saved, and it goes right to the Florida, and out of time. That one is the end of the first period.
And that's going to end the first period. The score, Dallas and Florida,
We will turn to
0
Florida
for the
after
first
this break.
intermission.
Huge play saved by Ottinger and Bobrovsky. Second period underway after the break. Hey everyone, it's time for the first intermission as we welcome you live here in the studio as we got a great matchups to start off with the first of its saved between by Bobrovsky and Ottinger. And with the action tracker, it wasn't enough that they made that one clear. That one has really kept that behind away, and they didn't really think that was going to be enough. And now with the first total statistics, here's how they did. 13/8 total shots on goal for Florida over Dallas. 10/9 hits for Dallas on a hit. 657/102 for the Florida attack. 94/92% for the Dallas Stars on passing. And it was 4 face-off wins over 2. That was Dallas. They took that one control. Let's have a look at one of the wildest save, and that was Florida Panthers' Sergei Bobrovsky. The biggest cat on a saving back. Doesn't mean that this takes a great control for the Florida Panthers. They've been watching this one on right in the range. I gotta say, yes, it was kind of like a toughest one for Sergei Bobrovsky. I didn't see anything that was going to be deflected in there for a reason. It really is staying out. I mean, it's been a great start here for the Florida Cats and for the Stars. They're really just trying to work things out a little bit. A lot of good controlment afterward, but that is one of a Columbus on a catch save by Sergei Bobrovsky. You have to give credit on that if you really wanted to keep that one going. And now for you, there son of beast, for the Dallas Stars. Stars are just fucking smacking, and just really took it all. There was no evidence to find anything. It wasn't if it was the Florida that made him over into the bench, and then there might be like a power play to start things off for the Florida Panthers. But the Stars, they definitely had started off with a good first period on its range. It wasn't easy enough. I mean, I don't know what's going to be the big difference here if that is going to stay that one out. Maybe there may not be. We're hoping to see how this one keeps for anything if there's a first goal in range. So with that being said, the first intermission has come to the end. Well, hopefully we'll see what the first goal starts. Range for the second period. Now back to Sunrise, Florida. Paintbrush and the Crews are ready to start the second period. See you later for the second intermission after the break. We're back with you again here at the Emirates Bank Arena, and we are ready to set the second period. Teams are ready, as they're all energized and ready for the second period in action here at Sunrise, Florida. All right there, James, I know that this is where it starts off in the first period, but both goaltenders are starting really well. Let's see what your responses are for the first period recap. Well, this is what happens with only just Jake Ottinger, and nothing was really like keeping it out of danger. It really made that one stand out of it for the worse for now. They've really been like keeping it out and under control. I was not even seeing it, how they were just playing it on comfortably, but that is where I was really watching it on. That started up with the goaltenders to try to keep things out in the first period. I'm hoping there's some kind of a big range, and I'm hoping to look for the first goal for the Florida Panthers or the Stars. Let's see if they can answer that back. As Florida gains control, here's Kachuk. To find again to Reingard. He'll look over again to Forsling. Forcing on a shot, and a huge save made by Ottinger. Mikko Rantanen again to White Johnson. Johnson right toward the wing. Looks for middle on the shot. Huge stop by Bobrovsky. He now has it to Carter Verhage. 2-on-2 fast break toward middle. Almost in range. And stopped by Ottinger. Looks up to Balinskis. Top by Mikkola. Balinskis. Mikkola. Big cut motion here. Balinskis watching it. Goes right back to try to reset. Bennett finding Marchand. Marchand cut. Stopped by Ottinger with a sponge save. Just only 10 seconds under full pressure and a start of a 16:45 remaining in the second. Nothing to give here in the first goal, but they're still trying to look for the first goal in the second. Sam Bennett wins the faceoff. Here's now finding Balinskis. Balinskis shoots. Huge save by Ottinger, and it's getting batted by Harley. Jason Robertson will set things out for the Dallas Stars. Here's Skins. Finch with the shot. That one is dragged up in the stick, and now Mikkola sends it over to Marchand. Marchand. Cut motion. Two-man to Tangles, and he's in off the goal pipe. That off the crossbar, and it goes right all the way down into Florida territory. What a close save in the range to Florida. And they almost had that first goal. Well, I gotta say, what happens with now? I mean, that one is almost gonna be close enough for Brad Marchand. That wasn't easy enough. That one really is going to dink that out, and he would have had a close call to ricochet it in there. Evan Rodriguez. Here's one-time Petrie shot, stopped by Ottinger. 15:03 remaining in the second period as they'll get ready for another puck shot. They're pretty aggressive this time. 91 over 90 percentage. James, do you think that the Florida Panthers did really well? I mean, fixing it off, it was really just like how they did. Man, that's definitely like the finish. And they're hoping you to do for more for plenty. They just have to keep that one going out. Here's Petrie, a send-over pass to Samoskevich. Samoskevich to help in the defender, and it's stopped by Ottinger. Both goalies are making a huge save, but the next goaltender might just have to take a little bit of a competition. Competition right in the range doesn't really stand a chance. As you may know it before, this might be the hardest thing that they really are watching on. And you know what happens? Florida Cats are one of the better team, but now they're starting to lose their control, and without Alexander Barkov, they'll have to watch things up if anything is possible or change. Does this really mean that we are looking for Alexander Barkov to return to the game to face against the Cats? Well, I'm pretty sure that they were watching this one on. I mean, I haven't seen any changes going on, but hopefully, as he's already out, I was not even spotting that one on for Alexander Barkov to have that one making back into this game. It's really been a hurt for the teams, and it looks like the fans are really wanting to see Alexander Barkov come back. He scores! The big tip is back into check. Now on the board, it starts a wonderful lead. Watch what happens with this big dipper in the range when you're working at this. That's where Matthew Kachuk is really giving it up. That one is facing a big chipper, and that one really beats over Ottinger. Check out this range in. That one is deflected in there, and that really is going to get that first goal and start. With one down, that one is to tip it in right behind the goaltender. That's how Florida got started in the second period. Panthers start off with a 1-0 lead, and just nearing the midway mark of the period, here's Duchesne. That one stopped by Aaron Ekblad. And stopped by Bobrovsky. Hugs the post in the corner. They'll get ready for the puck drop. Lots of team left to remain in the second period. It is 1-0 Florida. The win for Duchesne. Shots blocked by Lustrina. And now the send pass to Kunin. Kunin waits patiently down finding Forsling. Forsling now has that pass to Switch. Switch finds Kunin. Doing it behind again, Aaron Ekblad. Fire shot, another step by Ottinger. Behind the back. Pat saved, kicked out by Ottinger. Dallas on the attack, now finds Steele.
24th goal this season. Scored by number 19,
with Banner move around,
good shot.
and he didn't have the right puck advancement, and that one stays out in the
assisted by
center
number
of the
15,
traffic zone.
18,
Lundell will fire that one around net.
And by number 5, Herring.
Here's another one to Mikkel. I'll send back to Lusharainen. Balinskis on a corner shot.
6 minutes, 54 seconds in the second period. That's Matthew Tkachuk, his 23rd goal this season. Assisted by Lundell and Aaron Ekblad. 6 minutes, 54 seconds in the second period.
They're really starting to get that one another strength. And a win will be on the Stars. Esa Lindell again to Hickelwine. And it's lost that zone by Balinskis. Man rush behind. That one gets blocked by defenders and rebound by Johnston. Balinskis takes it over. Got a pass now, finding it over to Marchand. Here's Verhage. Verhage shoots. Stopped by Ottinger. Marchand with the rebound. Balinskis waits to regroup. And now here's Marchand. Marchand shoots wide. Never stopped by Ottinger. Mikkola now finds Balinskis. Mikkola shoots deep. Tries for another deflection for Marchand. And it's given away by Marchand. Pass out to Balinskis. He has to hang on to this one. And Mikkola trying to hold things tight. Florida Panthers continue the puck movement to pass around the net. And Balinskis back to Bennett. Now finding Mikkola. Both defenders are getting a little bit tired. Bennett shoots, stopped by Ottinger. He'll stop things here as we pass the midway mark in the second period. 1-0 score, the Cats. I'm watching our Roop hits this time. This is the big rebounding to have that quick drawing face-off against Lindell. He might be good at it, but he's got to keep an eye on it, just the higher skill he needs. As the win will pick in for the Florida Cats. Our backhander shot. That one is another stop by the goaltender. Number sent to Mikkola, now find to Balinskis. Balinskis looks over again to Reinhard. Reinhard now finds the pass to Mikkola. Mikkola with the rebound again. Now find to Balinskis. Keeps moving again by Tkachuk. Shot. Stopped by Ottinger. Lindell with the rebound. Goes for it again. Tkachuk backhander. And denied 3 times in a row by Ottinger. That is really a huge Tuskus save. Nothing stops on this one for Jake Ottinger, but he was really pulling out a huge save. Dallas Stars are losing their grip. They just got to find a way to get that one back on offense. Another win. And here's Balinskis' shot. Blocked his save like a chuck. And stopped by Ottinger. 7:36 remaining. The second period. They're starting to hold things round and didn't really think there was going to be enough. Another back-to-back wins by Lindell. Balinskis shoots, deflected, that one stays out, and finally, the Stars will clear it out as Jason Robinson will carry it into center ice. Maverick Borg now finding it over to Hintz, and that one is given back to Lindell. A big over again to Sam Reinhard. Give and go to Tkachuk. That one taken over by Harley. And here's Gabe Blackwell. It's back to Tkachuk, now finds it to Balinskis. And as Florida will regain the group, they start attacking in their offense zone. Mikkola helps it in the corner. Now as Sam Reinhard will now regroup the change. Tkachuk shoots, blocked by Lundqvist. Now here's Faska. A big zone entry for the Stars. Here's Capuchano on the shot, but it's blocked, and it's off the glass and rebounded by Aaron Ekblad. Lindell with the puck over now for the Florida Cats. Deep zone to Samoskevich. Samoskevich again to Aaron Ekblad. Tries to get to Forsling. Forsling changes over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez again to Aaron Ekblad. Flat shot again, Forsling shoots, stopped by Ottinger. Samoskevich again to Aaron Ekblad, now finds it to Forsling. He fires it, never stop on a shutdown. Rico Rantanen again to Kapobanko. And Petrovic will now have it for the Stars way. Had stopped by Bobrovsky, and that will not get it up for the Dallas Stars to even up the game. Check out Jake Ottinger's move here. This is where that comes with the butterfly effect. You saw what happens with the stick. He was going down, and watch what happens with this sponging save in the periods. That is where that big reaction was coming in. He was wide awake. He wasn't really sure how he was able to get the Energizer. He was really fighting it back. You got to give credit for Jake Ottinger to have that big save. Sam Bennett wins the faceoff, and Pesci will now have it again to Bennett. Here's another one to Marchand the other way. Out to Bennett. Stick lifted as he recovers a rebound. And as Petrie will now reset the group again to Bennett. Bennett, pass to Petrie. Corner range for Marchand. Shot, never stop. Burglar shot. That stays out. And rebounded by Duchesne. Duchesne in the pass wheels. Mid-rush. Stopped by Bobrovsky, but the rebound is picked back in. Matt Duchesne scores as we are now tied. Watch what happened with this play. And you see that Matt Duchesne, he was racing? That's great save by Bobrovsky, but then he just did not have the right response, and he was way too quick. Check out what happened with this poking play. That happens with Matt Duchesne. He scores that one immediately, and that one would really get poked in, and he just got it back. That one did not cover in time, and that one is going to hurt. Cats and Stars are tied for one nearing the end of the second period. Issa Lindell will have it over again. Now here's a line for Issa Lindell. Knocked down by Petrie. Here's Bennett.
Dallas Stars scored his first goal of the game, his 21st goal of the season. Score unassisted, number 95.
Chance in front. Now find Petrie again to Sam Bennett.
Top of the goal, 16:39 remaining in the second period.
Petrie now finds
That's
Bennett.
Matt Duchesne, his first goal of the season, score unassisted by his
Shot,
team.
stop by
At
Ottinger.
16:39 in the second
Carter
period.
Heggie grabbing this rebound. Now finding Petrie. Marchand with a shot. Big save on a big bound. And behind the net is rebounded by Sam Bennett. Mikko Rantanen the other way for the Stars. Under 2 minutes remaining in the second period. Balls control. And now Petrie with the rebound again. Pass to Bennett. Panthers back into the Stars territory. Nico Mikkola again. Now finding the pass to Sam Reinhart. Reinhart. Right again to Petrie. Petrie looks around. Waits patiently. Now finding Mikkola. And now Petrie. Shoots one. Shots blocked. Rebounded again. Basket in. Will now find Rantanen. Down to a final minute in the second period.
Good to play in the second period.
Shot stop again by Bobrovsky. And Lindell shoots a glove stop by Bobrovsky. Doesn't really get enough to his feet back, but he still hasn't recovered. As you know what happens to Jeff Petrie from the Detroit Red Wings, that one makes a hit, and he was really been scouted. Check out what has happened with the hit. That one is right on Rantanen, and he had that rebounding. That one is a great clean hit, but the Stars really felt like that was going to be a penalty, but that was not. Still tie game, 1-1 between Florida and Dallas. A shot, big save by Bobrovsky. Here comes full pressure, shots blocked by Reinhart. And Kachuk will stay that one out. 20 seconds remaining second period. Lindell takes it over to Bork. Bork with no chance. Mikkola takes that one out. And now again to Kachuk. Heiskanen has it back. Deep the saucer duck is. And shots redirected. Keeps that one out. And that will end the second period.
And now we'll wrap up the second period. Your teams are score time. One for Dallas and one for Florida. For the second intermission.
Stay tuned for the third period as we'll be underway with you shortly after this. Hey everybody, welcome to the second intermission as we are all tied up. Dallas and Florida are all even in the game. It was not close enough how they were really doing this, but that first goal happened to be a Kachuk with a deflection, and that one gives that one a score. And then what happens with the other side of it for the Dallas Stars, this one came back as Matt Duchesne ties it up in the second period. But now, this might be what they're calling for the third period. There might be strength in numbers from the impacting for the Cats to be wild in and the Stars born on a leader. They might have to find out if there is a leadoff here. With the total statistics of the second period after that, 36-16 for Florida shots on goal. 16-14 for Dallas Stars in the hit. 14-2/211 for the time on attack for Florida. And it was 92/89 passing effectiveness for Dallas. And 12 face-off wins was picking over by 7 for Dallas Stars in the face-off wins. Let's have what happens, if there's any. Let's start off with you, centerpiece, of how Dallas Stars got it back. Well, Dallas Stars found something with the answer, and as for Mikko Rantanen, he was finding it off and letting Matt Duchene with a score. This is what happens with the biggest honest rebound. After that, it just poked back in, and he just could not survive it. That's definitely what causes it to try to keep messing it up between the offense and the defense. What happens now with Dallas Stars, they're looking for odd bets to win for the game of the night. I don't know how this is going to change, but that might be the harder thing to keep an eye on. And now over to you, Roy, for the Florida Panthers. Speaking of which right now, I know what you are asking him for, Son of Beast, about Sergei Bobrovsky. He was doing so well, and after that deflection, that might have happened with Matthew Tkachuk. He really had kept that one going back underneath. It wasn't really easy enough, but then what happens with this, it just kept on from coming back up toward for the top. Cats are really smacking it down, and over the Florida Panthers, they're going to have to try to figure it out in the third period. Keep blocking shots, or just keep moving around until they find the first goal to have that lead off. With that third period coming to the end of the game, as for nearing to a start, sorry about that, but trying to fix that one up anyway. The second intermission has come to the end. We'll find out what the odd bets are. I'm thinking this might be Florida Panthers to try to keep that one out. I think Dallas Stars is going to be the 50-50 chance here for the game. So let's find out if there is anything that gets right out to the attack. Now back to Sunrise, Florida. Paintbrush is all you. See you later after the game. It all takes in the third period. We are back and ready for puck drop. This is where the third period comes down to this. Will the leadoff be here for the Cats? Let's find out. All right there, Jake. I know what you're saying. Let's have your static for the second period recap of the game. What happens when I noticed before the first part of the goal wasn't really a start off to make that clearly quipping. On this timing his own, this rebound was really been like making that one with the mess. No change reaction afterward. They really are starting to get that one a hugest critical draws, and they really are starting to make that one go bashing, crashing, and there is just no way to try to defend it. You have to make sure you're really up to a chance. Because the Florida Panthers, they had a first goal, but now the Stars are coming back in wildly. As we start the third period, it's an icing on Florida Panthers with only 18-27 remaining. With the big save of the game of the night, that goes with the best player of the game, and I'm going to give it a big cat to Sergei Bobrovsky. He's really been dynamiting every time, and I really have been loving his feeling for all of his hugest saving bounding. That's a feeling when you have to believe on the showstopper in the game. I really love to see how Bobrovsky keeps going. Bobrovsky's Knights still trying to hope it's alive to keep things for the next face-off puck drop. A. Lundell with the winning face-off as now Gustav Forsling the other way. Forsling fires up and around net. Here's Tkachuk. The pass again to Lundell. Here's Aaron Ekblad again to Aiton Lundell. Aiton Lundell finding again to Tkachuk. That one kicks over, now find to Lundell. Looks over to Aaron Ekblad. Aaron Ekblad now finds it again to Lundell. Cats keep moving around. Forsling. Forsling with a spin on a shot stopped by Ottinger. The big rebound by Florida. Shot corner for Tkachuk is blocked by Issa Lundell. Ice skid in the other way for the Stars. That gives it over, and Aaron Ekblad will now make a new line group change. And Gustav Forsling, a deep pass to Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe trying to work his way across around the zone. The give and go to Marchand. Given away by Rupitz. Hits, swing and misses. Sam Bennett tries to watch that one out. Keep the puck play alive. And back over to the Stars. Mikko Rantanen making his way through. Wires a one shot, and it's blocked by Verhaeghe. chance for Jason Robertson to have a lead, and that one takes it over by Carter Verhaeghe. Well, he's limping afterward. I don't see anything that's going to happen with Carter Verhaeghe, but that was a great block shot. Off a teammate, Maverick Bourque. That one swings and misses, and now Marchand Everway. Pass back to Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett. Sam Maskovich. Spin on the attacker. Backhander. Stopping on the rebound. Marchand would have had a chance to have his own leadoff, but that one denied it again. Puts a hit on Oscar Bach. And now the rebound by the Florida Panthers. Florida's back into Dallas territory. Here's Samaskovich. Try to give a little help here. And now he will reset it again. Samaskovich now into Hornford. Hornford now finding again A.J. Greer. A.J. Greer did not get through, and it's rebounded by Petrovic. Back around the net, and as Oscar Bach takes it off. That kick over now back again to Petrovic. Petrovic to Oscar Bach. Oscar Bach digs his own, fires around the net, and as Jeff Petrie will now have it again to Borford. Borford now firing over to Skepkovic. Samoskovic. The back to Rodriguez. Leadoff glove snatch by Ottinger. What a stop made, and he just keeps it alive. No question asked. Well, what happened? You see what Ottinger made? That one was a snipe. You just really had that one snipped, and that was where the sponge, he snapped it. He denied it, and that was what Ottinger made. No chance, sir. That gives it a denying effort for the goaltender for tonight. As there's a lot of big attack motion afterward, they're still looking for a goal for the Cats or the Stars to take over and control. Now Jamie Benn. That one deflects it off the dump around the net, and as Lucian now finds it off to Petrie. Petrie ducks it over to Schwinn. Schwinn in corner. To give over again, and here's Lundqvist the other way. He'll deep around the zone or around the Florida territory. And Duchesne. One shot blocked by Lundqvist. And Borowski is going to cover it with only 12 minutes remaining in the third period. Still a lot of time left in the period. We got a big fan favorite as the hugest fans are now tied for one. And that stops again by Bobrovsky and Schwinn. Florida Panthers back into the Stars territory. Schwinn. Back to Kuden. Here's Forsling. The bigger drive, open offense. And it's given away by Sam Steele. Here's Jamie Benn with the wheel on attack. Given away. Blocked. And it's stopped by Bobrovsky. Forsling, now he'll have this send it across to Kachuk. Here's Jayton Lindell, as now you're in the territory for the Stars on defense. Reingard, move around, stopped by Ottinger. Ottinger's going to give time, and they will be ready to give that one for another puck drop in the glove center gliding zone. Still a lot of time left to remain in the period. Big draws are right in the range to have some hugest matchup between Dallas and Florida. Now here's a chance over to Balinskis. Here's Mikolas, shots blocked by Hikowan. Balinskis gets out of the zone, and now the Cats regain group. Lining the change in the middle. Kachuk, shot stopped by Ottinger. Kachuk, again to Mikola. Balinskis shoots, and saved by the sponge on Ottinger. We passed the midway mark in the third period as they're still looking for a goal. Not much chance here. They are still looking for a goal between Dallas and Florida. Now the win for the Stars. They'll give out back again to Miro Heiskanen. Heiskanen is carried away by Mikola. Again to Reinhard. Reinhard. Try to watch in, try to look for help. Mikola. Reinhard. Chance for Lindell, shot, that was saved by Ottinger. Reinhard again by Balinskis. That's where a huge save is going to make that Ben blind. He's unbelievable tonight. Huge save! Back to Balinskis. And it goes over the net, and it's rebounded by Kachuk. Kachuk again to Balinskis. Tries to look for an opportunity play around Kachuk. Cats still remain alive. Bennett. Belinskis. Shoots. Miss wide. Bennett. Big intake. Pink bounce. And rebounded by the Stars. And now it's kick line again to Rantanen. Yo, you really had that one keyed up. Cats really wanted to have that Stars to deny an effort to try to give it over. Bennett. Move around. Shot. Another save play. Marchand. Shot. Stop by Oettinger. 7:32 remaining in the third period as they're still trying to look for a goal lead on. Watch what happens to Jake Oettinger. He is incredible this time. Look how he's reacting. He is moving quickly. That's why his head coach is giving, you have to give some effort. I know where how the frame analyze. He just really kept on coming back. That is crazy save. Now they're ready to have another puck drop. 7:32 remaining in the third period. Sam Bennett wins the faceoff. Mikola's shot. Trying to get to Sam Bennett. And it's rebounded by Thomas Harley. 7:15 remaining in the third period. And now here's Lundqvist. Lundqvist trying to have that one with the odd man rush. And Carter-Hagee will now have it the other way. Bank the pass around the boards. And as Marchand has that rebound out. To lose on Thomas Harley. Back over to Aaron Ekblad. Here's Forsling, shots blocked. And that one deflected off the stick. Aaron Ekblad will come in to save the day. It's back to Marchand. Marchand giving away. Here's the take. Can't get it over the Samskovich as the puck pass over to the goal is way too soon. And now it will stop and freeze the play just under 6 minutes. They're still looking to have that first goal in the game. Rodriguez gets ready for a puck drop. Rodriguez wins the faceoff. Here's Forsling. Forsling. Here's Greer. That's off the skater of the power blade. And it gives back to Hintz. Another to Robertson. Robertson trying to carry that one in the zone. And that's now Aaron Ekblad. He'll now have it to Rodriguez. No penalty on the Dallas Stars. He'll have that kick in the zone, and as A.J. Greer will have it. Past the final 5 minutes, presented by Discover. Mikola's shot, never stopped by Oettinger. They just still can't get it going, and it's denied again by the goaltender. Still nothing to give here. Both teams have 20 hits between the Stars and Florida. Now win for Duchesne. And now it's Thomas Harley again to Duchesne. Duchesne deeps the zone, trying to stop on that. And it's given away by Florida. The clash along the board is rebounded by Belinskis. Here's Tukachuk. Florida back in the offense zone. He'll try to Sam Reinhart. A shot blocker saved again. And it's kicked out again by Oettinger. Here's the number 1 to Belinskis. Again to Mikola. Shot denied by Oettinger. 3:49 remaining in the third period. He still cannot get a goal. And as Oettinger, he's on a hugest robot skin. He can't get away with that. Now, nothing to say about Oettinger. He was like one of the best goaltenders in this. That quick range. When you don't have the range, if you have that ranging on a shot and have the goal, you got a skinny, beauty targets. He is all in one for anything. Chasing Robertson as now as Johnston. Give the pass. Broken by Lundell. And now here's Reinhard. That goes all the way down to Stars territory. And Lundell. Again. To Kickel one. Dallas back into Florida territory. And here's a shot. Huge save by Belinskis. Beauty stop by Bobrovsky. And it's Lundell behind. Lundell waits. Cuts it. Here's Lundell. He makes it a 9 effort by Oettinger. Lundell spin around. And that puck rolls out of here. And back Marchand the other way. New line good change for Florida Panthers. Aaron Ekblad now has it to Carter-Hagee. Under 2 minutes remaining in the third period. Hagee. He shoots it over save by Oettinger. Bennett. Here's a fire shot. And doesn't have the right choice. He goes missing out of the way. And that's Lundell. Here's another one for the wheels. And that one will stop again over Hagee. Tries over the full swing. On a wheel attack. Forsling. Ekblad.
Last minute of play in the third period.
Denied by Ottinger. Just coming down to a nearing end of the regulation. We're hoping to find and win for the next goal. Big contest showing off ability. I will now send over his palm tree. Ooh, the best game of the night. Well, folks, I'm just wanting to spot it on, but now you know what happens to Sergei Bobrovsky. He was one of the big saves to have his own night. I'm really sure that this is where his big fans are really going to be loving it. For Sergei to keep that one playable on the night. Just keep your eyes on him for our next big save. Here's Tkachuk. Flies over. In middle, Mikkola. Backhanders off the glove. And Lundell with the rebound. Here's Aaron Ekblad. Again. Shoots it. Deflected off too soon. It's Robertson. He'll have that one out. Harley will now swing it over. The Stars looking for some offensive room. Tkachuk can't get over this time. Mikkola will send it out. And they're out of the energy for stamina. Here's Lundell. Sets to steal. Bork the other way. And it over to steal. And that one will stop. And it's out of time. Therefore, both teams have won.
The teams are still score tied. Florida won. And Dallas Stars won. Heading to overtime.
Regulation comes to the end. We'll be back in overtime. Alrighty, folks, what a tight game this is. But there is no penalty to give Ray in a range, so let's have a look with the total statistics. As you can see, it's only the goal between the second period as Matthew Tkachuk deflects it, assisted by Lundell and Aaron Ekblad. And then it was just a long wait before the second period comes to the end. It was Dallas Stars that had Matt Duchene unassisted by a team. Therefore now, we have to see what overtime comes in. What's your take here, Centerpiece? And who do you think is going to win? I'm betting this one is a hard choice. I think Dallas Stars might have some big change off here. They haven't just won it on the road, but they have really been catching it up on its way for the game of the night. But as you may notice it before, they definitely did win on the road last season against the Chicago Blackhawks. They were really been skeptical on fire to try to keep that range out of the way. But now you know, they really are trying to work it out, and this is definitely the hardest choice to do for. How about you, Roy? What's your take on that?
I'm going to say that this is going to be Florida. One of the big takes I would like to see is a big, huge game winner. I want to see how Brad Marchand can definitely do for. He's really trying to torment with this game. It doesn't really stand a shot if you do it for him. So this could be a 50-50 range. I like this battle. This is going to be a great one. Now let's get on to overtime as this game is presented by your local Honda dealers. Let's see what happens with the next goal if they take one. OT starts now. Are you ready? It's about time. Overtime begins now. Big tie range as the next goal will be the winner. We start off here as Sam Bennett is with Gustav Forsling. And now it will be on the offensive zone as Sam Reinhardt's right toward in the wing. Forsling will have to rechange the group. And now finding to Sam Bennett. Bennett looks over to Forsling. And it's now taken away. Here's Rantanen. They'll start things here. To poke it out of the way. Sam Bennett. Here comes the first attack. On its range. Right arm. Forsling gets denied by Ottinger. What a huge save by the Stars. Oh, they cannot get away with that. That is where that first line group really are starting to fight. Now Forsling will now get some new line group change here. As now this will be the first one to keep things out. Forsling will not get it in time. It hits off of Robertson. And he will not have it this time. As now as Lundell is on the ice, he will start things off. New line group here. As now this will be Aaron Ekblad. He'll start. Aaron Ekblad shoots, saved by Ottinger.
Lindell with a big chance, now fighting for Higgy. Looks center on Ekblad. Ekblad now fighting for Higgy. He shoots one. He breaks the pipe. That stays out. And now here comes the Florida catch. Big stop by Ottinger. Robertson the other way to Hintz with under 2 minutes remaining. Wow, what a fan favorite afterward for Jake Ottinger. He was not really going to get enough for the huge get rumble takedown. I was never seeing how that's going to get. Here comes the breakaway chain. Move around, shoots it, stopped by Ottinger. He just couldn't get the winning goal over for Verhaeghe, and that one will deny the effort. Just look how he's able to get that. Reflection on happens to Ottinger. That's where the sponge. He does not have showing it off the right timing. That one is going to give that one a huge shame on his analysis. Still a lot of time remaining in the period, and the timing is winding down. They want something to win. And Lundell wins. Aaron Ekblad. 1:15 remaining in OT. Lundell spins, fires it off, and over save by Ottinger. Lundell.
Last minute of play in overtime.
First chance for the Stars. Move around, stop by Bobrovsky. 3 times on an eye effort. That one now gets it over. Lundell the other way. Cats remaining on to steady. Nearing down. Try to look over. Marchand can't get over. Marchand needs help. Balinskis. Looks up. Marchand. Marchand. Again. And find Balinskis. Balinskis. Kick to Marchand. Backhanders over the net. Duchesne. Giving away, Marchand again, and doesn't get away from the defender, and he tries to watch that out. Here comes the wheels, Duchesne, moving around, and scores. Matthew Duchesne, Dallas wins over Florida. The Stars take over to smack down over the Cats.
Dallas Stars goal. His second goal of the game, his 22nd goal of the season. Score on OT.
You know, this is what happens. This is where the defender gets away. Watch what happens to Duchesne. He moves that one around. I'm going for it.
4 minutes,
and
49 seconds in the OT.
What a big chance on the saving
That's
effort
Matt Duchesne with the OT goal, assisted by Thomas Harley in overtime at 4:49.
Don't matter to me. I have it all.
The game. Your final score: Florida
That's
Panthers
where this is coming
1,
in for Duchesne,
and Dallas Stars
that one
2
wins it over
in
to
overtime.
Bobrovsky. You don't get a chance afterward. So therefore, that ends up here for tonight's game.
Thank you, Panthers fans, for
A
joining
big
us here for
disappointment
tonight's
for
game.
Florida, and
We
they'll
look
have
forward
to
to heading
see
back here for our
what
next
changes
game
next.
as they take on against the
Along
next
with broadcast
teams.
partner, along
Secure
with
your seats
the
here
ultimate of the
at the
crew
Emirates Bank
between Palm
Arena
Tree
by
and
downloading it
James,
onto the Florida
I'm Big
Panthers
Rush.
app,
Thank you for
or
watching
secure your
for our
seats
Florida
on the website
Panthers
to get
hockey
ready for
game.
your next
And we'll
matchup.
see you next
Thank you
time
all,
for
and have
another
a
game.
great night.
So long in Sunrise, Florida. All right, Paintbrush, thank you so much. Time for 3-star players of the game, as Sergei Bobrovsky's 22 saves of the night, and he's been like dominating the effort. He's been like shooting it up for the big saves and a showstopper, just like that. And his second star OT winner goes to Matt Duchesne with 2 goals, and he just made that one, forcing it up. Around the other way, it's taped it on the show speed, and beats over Bobrovsky. And the first star player of the game is Jake Ottinger. He makes it 62 saves, and he just did not have the right room to be there to have that win at all. Your final statistics are as followed. 63/24 Florida with the shot on goal, 25/23 for Dallas Stars on a hit, 21/37 over 258, 6-4 time on attack for Florida, 91/88 percentage for passing effectiveness for Dallas Stars, and 19/13 face-off wins for Dallas Stars. It doesn't get anything fancy enough as Dallas Stars had won that game. Now I told you it wasn't easy enough, doesn't it, Roy? Well, it doesn't say so. But in the meantime, it's about the time to sign it off, and we'll be back with you for the next game. Don't miss out for the next game of the night, as we have the next one matchups. The rematch of the Frozen Fancy arranged between the Bruins and the Penguins. We'll see how that goes with the next game. In the meantime, that's going to close things off. Thanks for watching, and so long for as a while as the NHL gameplay on EA Sports Style. This is Roy Cruz and Son of Beast. Thanks for watching. So long, everyone.
somebody will.